find her at some garden gate where a servant tells me I should wait.
The unmistakable voice of Sting, with music from his first album of original songs in a decade. The album is called Last Ship, and Sting is turning it into a musical that he's bringing to Broadway. The CBC's Susan Ormiston sat down with the rock legend in an exclusive Canadian interview, and in it she asks him about his latest project and his hugely successful career.
What makes success? Realizing that your work is your spiritual journey, and it's not money, it's not fame, it's nothing like that. It's a journey of the soul which can have many twists and turns. You know, you can't compute success by ticket sales or Grammys or all that stuff that I have. That's not how I value it. It's a spiritual journey of discovery.
And now CBC News senior correspondent Susan Ormiston joins us live from New York. So, what was it like interviewing Sting, and what is his latest project?
Well, as he said, he's on a spiritual journey, and the journey has taken him back to his hometown in northeast England, in the heart of the English industrial heartland. It's a shipbuilding community called Wall's End near Newcastle. And he's taken the characters from his youth, the shipbuilders, the foremen, all these stories, and turned them into a musical score that will be launched on Broadway in the fall. It's called The Last Ship. And he said he went back, Reshmi, because he didn't have anything else to write about anymore. He'd been indulging himself with a lot of introspection, and he needed to tell other people's stories. And when he decided that, and he came up with the images of his youth with these tall, towering ships in the shipyard, he felt the songs just came rolling out. This was a massive shipyard, one of the biggest in the world back in time, Swan Hunter, and it disappeared, beginning to collapse in the 1980s, and those workers found themselves out of work.
Okay, and I understand you found an unusual Canadian connection in Sting's new work.
Well, Swan Hunter was such a big shipbuilding company over more than 100 years. We knew that they had made Canadian ships, and indeed they have, and the last ship under Canadian flag still floating in Canada is moored at Halifax Harbour. It's a museum ship now called the CSS Acadia, and it was indeed built in Swan Hunter in Sting's backyard, but long before he was around in 1913, so it's 100 years old. So we went to the ship and we talked to the shipkeeper, who, funnily enough, has his own jam sessions for music down in the wardroom of this formerly a research ship. And he said, you know, wouldn't it be wonderful if Sting would come and play on the Acadia, moored outside the Maritime Museum of the Atlantic. So we put that to Sting, and you'll have to watch tonight to find out what he said, but he was certainly open to the idea.
Oh, all right. Thank you for this, Susan. CBC News senior correspondent Susan Ormiston there. Watch the full interview with Sting tonight on The National. That's at 9 p.m. Eastern right here on CBC News Network, 10 p.m. local time on CBC Television. That's 10:30 in Newfoundland.